First two episodes of Star Wars The Skeleton Crew are now available on Disney+, but is it worth your time? Hello and welcome to Cinema, where we focus on a film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know down in the comments below. Did you see The Skeleton Crew? Is it good? Is it bad? Or somewhere right in the middle? Or if you're waiting to see if it's worth it or not, make sure to like this video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already to join in the film culture community, where we talk about a lot of cinema as a whole. And getting right into the synopsis. Four ordinary kids search for their home planet after getting lost in the Star Wars galaxy. And taking it right in a positive, this is a decently paced, great, visually stunning show that really tackles this coming of age story with these kids. They're managing to pull off this juvenile humor that's naturally fit for being focused in on these four different kids, some alien species, some other things, and the set designs are really great, and what you're getting and tackling out of the pure nature of Star Wars universe in this galaxy. The story itself feels very Goonies inspired by the nature of going on this adventure, sort of going on this rebellious tale that goes about these interesting tropes that worked effectively to the nature of what you're building off of. The first episode is directed by Jon Watts, who did the MCU Spider-Man film, and the second episode is from David Lowery, who did Peter Pan and Wendy, the live-action film. And so their directing styles are really distinct, but really great to the nature of what you're getting off of it. And you see the budget that's effectively pulled off, the time that's put into making this two episodes come to life, and the CGI is satisfactorily well done to the nature of making it feel complete, not necessarily having too many rough edges throughout the show that I've personally seen. And so how you're getting these kids, they build up their own adventure, tackling these things where you're exploring this side of Star Wars in this suburban and city and this neighborhood that naturally creates a different environment, this different world, and a different sort of side of Star Wars that is sort of inspired or looks like something we've seen from Onward, or something fantasy-esque or in the sci-fi realm of things. And so that's just really cool to immerse yourself into that sort of world. You're sort of getting this young kid that is trying to figure out life, going through school. Of course, there's different things where he wants to grow up to be a Jedi, and then he has this friend, as well as these two other girls that coincide once they find this ship that appears to be this Jedi temple at first. But how that adventure comes about, it does have its fairly generic ideas or things that are expectedly familiar to the nature of the Goonies ideas and a coming of age story, but you know the development will come about along the way. Whether it ends up being of a great pace consistently throughout, or if it may have a mismark along the way, Jude Law, it sort of has this prequel part to it that you know he will somehow be a leader of the group based on the trailers. But of course there's pirate action and other space battles that will happen along the way. But there is certain remarks to how the look of the CGI or other things come about along the way that for the first couple episodes, I'm satisfied with how this series is going so far, which takes me right into the mix elements. There's, of course, the juvenile humor that can be effectively used for the nature of what is going on with the plot. It's not necessarily a bad sense of the writing, but some people can be turned off by it, take this and mark it automatically as a kid show, to which it somewhat is, because the juvenile nature of arguing or bickering, calling claimsies on certain things, it can take you back into your younger years, or it's something that isn't necessarily going to be the language that you're automatically drawn to when wanting to watch a show. It definitely will work for the younger ones, which this humor and other things that goes about it isn't necessarily trained to be only utilized for younger kids, but it is a deviant nature of how you're pulling off this sense of imagination and adventure that's coming about along the way. And taking it into the negatives, while I don't have anything that are too frustrating for what I'm experiencing with the show, any things that with the writing feel inconsistent, or anything that I personally caught as wrong with what is going on with the plot, there are just some frustrating things here and there with how the dialogue is used, certain things where they have so many different tropes or a sense of familiarity that lacks originality within this Star Wars thing, where even though you're immersing yourself into a new Star Wars environment, this suburban neighborhood, and things that are going about with that, there's just certain tropes where you tell a kid not to do something and it ends up doing that, and that's the whole purpose, the whole reason the plot is moving forward to begin with. It's because of little things, little incidents like that, where things just happen to come about because of the nature of how things are contrived with kid behavior, which could be a good thing of plot-wise, what makes sense for how a kid behaves, but not necessarily always a driving force to you liking a character to begin with if everything he is doing to cause trouble is just coming about because of trying to learn things along the way that could end up to good lessons or things that come about by the end. But at the beginning point, it can be a little frustrating at times, just with the learning how to get to know a character by his own means. So that's just my personal review for Skeleton Crew, which I have to rate a personal 6.5 out of 10 for the first couple episodes. Not too bad, just a few little contrivances and frustrations to begin with. So let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew. Is it good? Is it bad? Or somewhere right in the middle? Or if you wanted to see this review before checking it out for yourself, make sure to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you haven't already to join the film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. So that's just all, and make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a TV show.